you.
Okay, it looks like we're okay.
Okay, are you going to record or do you want me to record?
Tell me that one more time.
Are you going to record or do you want me to record?
Now, can you hear me all right?
Yes.
Perfect. So we're going to chat about several different applications that we reviewed for monitoring classroom behavior, including Class Dojo and some of the seating chart apps like Smart Seat Thumbs Down, Super Duper Data Tracker. And what did you review, Kristine?
I reviewed Class Dojo, Teachers Class Behavior, and Super Duper Data Tracker.
I'm going to talk about the Super Duper Data Tracker first.
It is an Apple app, and it's where you go in and manage players. That would be students. And it is for iPad, iPhone, iPod. You would buy it from the Apple Store. I see that it has uses for both classrooms and, say, someone who's a speech pathologist. You know, it has other uses. No, shoot. Okay. Okay, all right, one dog barks.
So I take it the dogs are fans of the Super Duper Data Tracker?
Yes, obviously. Yep, they are. I should.
Maybe they're therapy dogs, and that's why they like that one so much.
Yeah, one actually is a therapy dog, so that's probably why. I should have anticipated that. Okay, let me continue on. Super Duper Data Tracker provides an alphabetical listing of all students on the caseload, adds goals, you can use goals, correct and incorrect responses, approximated and cued responses to track behavior. It tracks attendance and class participation. And it provides like a color-coded graph for each student. So its basic function is to list goals and types of responses, correct, incorrect, approximated, and cued goals. And my take on it is that it is suitable for, say, elementary or younger, but not for high school or middle students. I did not see a lot of use for it with them. So it is not something I would use in the high school environment.
That one might be better for special ed, where maybe they're setting outcomes and goals for students. For example, 4 out of 5 times the student will hold a pencil in his hand and attempt to write his name.
Yes, that's right.
But I think because And since it's only available on Apple products, it would be a little less optimal because not all teachers have Apple products.
Correct.
So I also looked at Seat, and the Smart Seat app was one where you could create seating charts and convert them to a PDF, but it also does cost money. It's only available for Apple products again. And you'd be holding the cell phone in front of your students while you're teaching, which might not be the best example for them. So I think that it wouldn't even be worth it due to its limited functionality.
No, it doesn't sound like it, especially with classrooms having, no cell phone use allowed. Did you see any other applications for it besides that, or that's just off the list?
Now that one. I did look at Teachers Class Behavior Free, and that one is one that you could record behaviors and actions throughout the day. You could use it for multiple classes. You tablet, so when they're in front of you, you could have your tablet on the desk, perhaps. It does allow you to record behaviors just by tapping a button next to the student's name. Save logs, and then email those logs either to yourself or to parents. And then the cons that I saw to that would be that if you're email as a way to contact parents, sometimes that can seem a little cold and it prevents some communication. Phone calls might be better in some instances. And if the teacher is focused on playing with this app, recording student behaviors, the teacher might get distracted from their actual teaching. For
Right.
record, and it picture taking capability, so that was a limitation. So that's all I got out of that one.
I looked at that one too because so many of them, like Teachers Class Kit wanted you to pay for it. And I said, no, I'm not going to do that. It didn't even offer a free trial. And some of the other ones just seemed to, like for elementary. So I looked at the Teachers Class Behavior too and found that the same things you did with it, that, it's easily loaded on the cell phone and then you can track the different behaviors. But the only drawback is, like you said, the email, emailing the teacher may not be appropriate all the time. And I'm trying to think if I'm going to look at it right now to see if there's anything else that I thought. Was good about it. Well, it does have a daily log function on it. I think it would work better on a tablet. I don't really like it on my cell phone. It's too clunky. And then again, we're having the upgrade to professional, which means in order to get more features, you need to pay for it. So, I mean, it's not bad for what it does, but I could probably do this on a spreadsheet. So keep track of it that way. And then look like I was working on the computer and not on my cell phone.
Right. I think that overall would be better.
Yeah, I think overall, yeah.
It's going to be hard enough to keep.
Did we want to talk about Class Dojo a little bit?
So I think what I liked about Class Dojo was some videos of the students, some good things about their child, and instant parents, so they get the news before home and can have, you know, appropriate discussions with them. It also works on, so to me, a big thing. You can Android phones or Apple. It seems to be designed more for younger children with the graphics, so I'm not sure that that was my take on it.
Let's see. I liked how you can give feedback on a student if they're on task, participating, working hard. The reports function allows you to take attendance, record attendance, absent, late, and present. The donut feature can be adjusted for daily, weekly, or customized. The class story function, you can post photos, make comments, invite parents. You can send messages to parents. You can give positive dojo points to individuals or the whole class. You can use the random button to call on students. You can put your class into table groups, reading groups, or project teams. You can add a timer and speed up transitions, track homework, participation, or attendance. You can use the timer for class activities. So it did have all of those it did have all of those features, but I agree that it's probably more for elementary or special education. I have a friend that's a special ed teacher, and he uses Class Dojo. His students are autistic, and he says it works really well with them. But I'm not sure if I would.
Oh, neat.
Yeah, so I think it's definitely good for special ed. But in the high school environment, probably wouldn't use it. So did you feel that way too?
Right. And then I thought it was a little bit too immature for high school students. Another thing that I think you and I both kind of concur on is that we want to be careful about using cell phones in front of high school students, since that'll be such a temptation and distraction for them anyway. Also, that we realize that before we introduce student information onto a mobile device, we would need to get permission from the student's parents as well as from the school and the school district. And so that might be a barrier to the use of those applications as well.
Yes, I agree with that. The school that I've been doing classroom observation with has got a no cell phone use policy in the classroom. So it's right there on the board, when you walk in the door. So some of these are definitely would be a barrier. And I think my friend who's the special ed teacher uses iPads in his classroom. So they must have, again, he's a special education teacher, so they have different policies for them versus the high school environment. So that's the restriction that I see with some of these apps is school policy on them, and depending upon where you are, what school you're at. So
Right.
and I think in our
So I think.
Go ahead.
Oh, okay. I think that you and I, the conclusion that of the apps, Joe seemed to be the most versatile and useful, and that we just hope that maybe they would come up with a high school version of it out of all the apps.
Yes, that's what I noticed, is that none of the ones I looked at really seemed appropriate for high school. Again, I did not get to look at teacher's class kit. That might have been there. I think there may have been mention about high school in that one, but it seemed to be the only one. So, and you might get into a school and find out they have something like this for the teachers to use. I don't know. You know, there may be, you know, some district approved app or something like that. That's what I'm suspecting. So,
Yeah, the one school that I interviewed at this week uses an app called Parent View, and the parents are coming up at school. During the interview, I asked if you could record student behavior on that application, and have not had a chance to really, but that is something that's currently being used at the high school level.
oh, okay. So they do have something then. So that's probably the one that's approved for school policy. Yeah, I didn't see if they were using that at the high school I was at. So if the instructor was doing that, we didn't talk about that. So when I was there a couple weeks ago, and they're switching to Apple, so she doesn't even know what's going to be coming in with the Apple's computers at this point. So they may have some new apps or something.
Right.
Who knows? Yeah.
Right. So do you think we've covered this well enough?
I think we've covered this well enough. Were you able to record it?
Okay, yeah, it is recording. I'm gonna go ahead, because our voices are just starting to break up, so I'll go ahead and stop the broadcast right now.
Okay.
Is that okay with you?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, I recorded